want to give y'all our final thoughts as we head into week 2. This is kind of an exercise I want to do to just kind of, as the hay is in the barn, we've made our predictions, we've given you our thoughts, our analysis. I want to just leave y'all with one more thought for these teams in some of these marquee games. And Texas A&M at Miami is a great way to start. A&M, I think you leave Coral Gables with a feeling of, okay. Was it perfect? No. But the offense is in the right place. The right guy is now driving the car. And the guy that hired that guy is letting him do it. I think we see Connor Wegman spin the rock, and I think you see a lot of that talent that you recruited finally start to blossom because of this new system that's in place. So I'm excited to watch that. I think this is the game where you really just have a feeling of, okay, all right, hallelujah. All right, let's go. Let's go do what we can do now. For Miami, I think you leave this game and Tyler Van Dyke reminds everyone what he did in 2021. Tyler Van Dyke, man, there's been a lot of slander around his name. I would like to remind everybody that he was a top 5 quarterback in the country, according to a lot of NFL draft circles, heading out of 2021 and 2022. And then you switch the OC. He gets dinged up. Doesn't have much help at receiver or the offensive line. And then we all kind of just sold our Tyler Van Dyke stock. And my question is like, why? How come? He didn't just get worse at football from one year to the other. Like, I think Tyler Van Dyke is still a really good quarterback. I think Miami Hurricane fans still feel like he's a really big piece for them going forward. And they're happy to have him as their quarterback. And so they're like, hey, great. Everybody wants to talk about other quarterbacks and have him fly under the radar. That's fine. We're going to be in good shape with him as the quarterback. And I think this game with Shannon Dawson now calling the shots and the offensive line being improved, I think we see Tyler Van Dyke kind of return to that 2021 form. For Texas Tech and Oregon now, this is going to be a fun one. Oregon going to Texas Tech, going to Lubbock, Texas now. For Oregon, man, a lot of talk about them being a college football playoff team. I'm here for it. I'm here for Dan Lanning and Bo Nix doing what they do and getting to that top 4. But if they're going to do that, this is the kind of game that you have to win. Not just because you can't lose games and make the college football playoff. That's obvious. I'm talking about in this kind of spot where you go on the road, non-conference opponent, and they have a good offense. We'll talk more about Texas Tech here in a second. This is the kind of game that you have to lock it in, not let the external circumstances impact you, not let the Texas heat impact you, not let the crowd in Lubbock impact you. Dial it in, be the more mature football team, and win this game how you're supposed to win this game if you're Oregon and Dan Lanning. That's the next step for them, in my mind, to being a college football playoff team, is handling all the extra noise in a non-conference game. It's not USC. It's not Washington. It's not one of those games where all the hype is around it. Like you got Texas Bama this weekend kind of overshadowing this game. Lock it in. Do what you're supposed to do. Handle business in Lubbock. Now, Texas Tech, they're going to score points. They are going to score points. Zach Kitley, I've said this many times, he's going to be a head coach. It's a matter of time. They're going to dial it up. He's going to spread you out, make you cover the entirety of the field. And his quarterback, Tyler Shuck, was at one point in time at Oregon. They're going to let it rip now. They're going to take their shots. If you give them man-to-man coverage anywhere on the field, they have no issue taking a shot at you. And in a game like this, with the personal element, I think it plays for Tyler Shuck, and just the way that Oregon wasn't great defensively last year in the secondary. Curious to watch that battle early on. Again, I think they're going to score points. I think we're in for a track meet. No idea what the over is. Oh, goodness. We just short-circuited on air. Rock and roll. No idea what the over is, but I would take a strong look at it and think about going with it. All right, now Texas at Bama. We've talked about this game a lot. Got to get one more take in here. T'Vondre Sweat, defensive tackle for Texas, in my mind, is potentially the most important player in this game. 6'4", 362 pounds. He is the foundation of that defensive line, and if you want to stop the run, if you're Texas, it starts with him. If I'm T'Vondre Sweat, I say bring it on. Try and block me with 2 guys. Because if you block me with 2 guys, that means other cats on our defense get to have less attention and go make tackles. Jalen Fordy's right behind me. You want to block me with 2? Well, you better worry about him flying in and making a tackle. So it starts with him. He's the anchor of the defensive line. He is the key piece for them defensively for success on Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. For Alabama now, I don't think we've seen Jalen Milroe's best just yet. I don't. And I have very much so taken part in the questioning of what he did last year against Texas A&M. The turnovers, the issues throwing the ball downfield. I can't help but feel the more we get into the Jalen Milroe era at Alabama, I don't think we've seen his best yet. Like that song, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. I think that's the same thing with Jalen Milroe because the offense last year, make no mistake about it, when he stepped in, it was not called for Jalen Milroe. That system was not built around number 4 playing quarterback. It was built around number 9, and for good reason, because Bryce Young was a freak for them last year, made up for a lot of things they didn't do well offensively. But now in this system under Tommy Rees, I have a feeling it's going to be catered more to his skill set, and I think we're going to see him explode. Now, what does that look like? I don't know. But I think from a physical standpoint, he's got a lot more in the tank than we're giving him credit for. I think we see the run game for him. He gets going in that department. The pass game kind of gets going for him. Like a good basketball player, if you're playing defense, that shot kind of starts falling a little bit easier. I think that's the world that Jalen Milroe is living in, and I think we see him have a really good game on Saturday night. Now for Colorado, welcome in Nebraska. I think there is nothing fluky about what Travis Hunter did last weekend. And I'll say it again. We've said it many times on this live show. I'll say it one more time. He will go for over 100 yards and multiple touchdowns if he gets man coverage at any point in time against Nebraska. Period. Mic drop. The end. That is how good he is. He's the best player on the field, whether he's playing offense or defense. If Nebraska wants to sit in man coverage like they did last week and go mano-a-mano, Travis Hunter beat us, he will, and he will put up very, very big numbers. So I want to make that clear. For Nebraska, they have a much better chance at winning this football game than a lot of people are acting like. Because the deal for Nebraska isn't can we match Colorado in scoring points, can we go, blow for blow with them? No. The deal with Nebraska is can we play this game how we want to play it? I think they're the more physical football team. And I think if they get a chance to be the more physical football team, meaning that they find a way to get a couple stops against Colorado's offense, they could own this game. That scenario, we did not predict that scenario, but that scenario, I think, is in the realm of possibility for Nebraska when it comes to this game against Colorado. So lock it in, man. Week 2 is about to get rolling. I cannot wait for it. How beautiful is this that we are into our 3rd week of the college football season if you count week 0? We're almost a full month into this sport, man. Hallelujah. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.